All right, Shalom. I like to say, Kol Aloha, Hawala, which is all praise and honor and glory. In the Hebrew, to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Bukar Kadash. Double honors to the Apostle Elder Great Millstone. Blessings go out to the elect, the few sisters, and Israelite foreigners that's waking us during the truth. My name is Kamafi from GMS Cleveland branch, coming at you another video lesson. All right, and this is going to be on the continuation, all right, of this war. All right, this proxy war, which is going to lead into the Third World War. All right. Things are picking up, and they're not going to stop, man. All right. The will of the Heavenly Father is going to be carried out, no matter what Esau say on his news stations. Okay, because this man, he'll forever fabricate lies to the people. All right, and he'll never be honest. All right, about what's really going on. But this is where our job as the prophets of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, we're supposed to come in and do that part. Okay. All right. And we come with the scriptures, man, with the words of the Lord. All right, which are true and faithful. All right, we don't come with our own script. Okay. But yeah, man. This, as we can clearly see, this energy crisis, all right, is definitely going to lead to the economic collapse of this of the society, period, man, of the world, because this is a global economy. All right. And people are in for a very rude awakening because they don't know the severity of what this is about to bring about. All right. And if you've just been not paying attention to what's going on, this is definitely about to sweep people off their feet and catch them off guard. All right. But yeah, I ain't gonna say too much. I'm gonna play this clip because this clip is kind of lengthy. But we're gonna get through it, and we got two scriptures at the end. But it's just update on the news, man. So I'm gonna play it.
It's about to hit Iran, but it's not what most people think.
Sir, would you use a nuclear weapon against Iran? You posted on Truth Social.
No, we don't need it. Why do I need it? Why would a stupid question like that be asked? Why would I use a nuclear weapon when we've totally, in a very conventional way, decimated them without it? No, I wouldn't use it. A nuclear weapon should never be allowed to be used by anybody.
So if it's not that, what could it be?
Fox News alert, the commander-in-chief says you can't cave to crazy people, and Iran is a madhouse. Iranian generals have taken their country hostage. The cardboard supreme leader has been, quote, non-responsive.
No, he's not around.
Iranians don't have months or weeks. Energy traders say they may have till May.
Till May.
The president gave Iran's warring factions just a few days to get their itch together, and then says the ceasefire's over.
Something's going to happen in May that will completely destroy Iran, but before you hear what it is, understand that that's too long for some people.
How long are you willing to wait until you get a unified response?
Don't rush me, Jeff. Guys like you want to say, so we were in Vietnam like for 18 years. We were in Iraq for many, many years. We're in for I don't like to say World War II because that was a biggie. But we were 4.5, almost 5 years in World War II. We were in the Korean War for 7 years.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for 6 weeks.
Ha! 6 weeks.
The military is totally defeated. They're outside.
If you or someone you know have a teenager who is on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, or Snapchat, this is the
little wise guy ships. I call them the wise guy ships. The little boats that they have running around with guns in them.
Right. Those boats dropped a few mines in the Strait of Hormuz. But as you're about to see, the thing that's about to happen won't be stopped by speedboats or mines or anything that Iran has left.
Every story says, Trump is under time pressure. No. You know who's under time pressure? They are. Because if they don't get their oil moving, their whole oil infrastructure is going to explode. You know what that means? Because they have no place to store it. And because they have no place to store it, if they have to stop it, something happens that only Len can explain. Something happens underground that essentially renders it in very poor shape, and you never recover fully. You can recover 50, 60%, but you can never have it like it is right now. And they have a matter of days before that event takes place.
So Iran has a matter of days before their entire ability to be an oil-producing nation gets cut directly in half. And what exactly is the president talking about here? Here we go. Shutting down an oil field involves stopping production, which causes permanent reservoir damage to the oil well. Sediment clogs the rock pores. And if Iran lets this happen, they are totally finished.
The Iranian economy could be about to crash. Treasury says in a matter of days, Clark Island's oil storage will be full, and oil wells will be forced to shut. That's when you do damage. You can't just cap it, flip a switch, and pump it back out. The president says, quote, once those wells go down, sometimes they're down for good. can never operate again.
And here's why Trump's waiting game might have been the grand scheme all along.
They're choking their economy. We are strangling their main source of revenue. They can't pay their own people.
Right.
They're losing $500 million every single day. Carg Island is completely full of oil because they can't transport it to and from. So the president, the cards are in his hands. The United States maintains control over the situation. He has all of the leverage.
Now, the other interesting thing about this, if you look at the little map here, Carg Island is over here by the Strait of Hormuz, okay? The U.S. blockade is here. Now, we're not even close to their territory, but what did Trump do? He brought in all these troops. He made it look like he was going to invade. There were news reports. Oh, Trump might take Carg Island. We might put boots on the ground. Remember 3 weeks ago, everybody was freaking out about that. That's not going to happen at all right now. We don't have to put any boots on the ground. This thing is going to resolve itself. What are these guys going to do? Are they going to let their country implode? They're going to let their oil wells explode? Is China going to let them do that when it means their only source of oil forever will be the United States and the way they need it for their economy? I don't think so. How are they going to invade Taiwan if they have to buy the oil to do it from Taiwan's ally, which is us?
China cannot survive economically without oil for much longer. We're talking days here.
Days.
So absent some national defense edict saying that we can no longer export oil, here's how this is going to go over the next, call it 4 weeks. Oil's rising at a rate of 2 to 1 for China and even Europe versus here in America.
That's bad for them.
Due to this dwindling supply. China has about 10 days of stock right now on their shores, on the ground. And once that runs out, they have to shut down these refineries. This is going to continue until supply in America runs out from our strategic petroleum reserve that Biden drained right before the last election.
Thanks, Joe.
We're talking about 10 to 30 days here.
But Iran's only got a handful of those. China's got 10. We're looking at the biggest game of chicken ever thrown down on the world stage. And here's why.
He's made his red lines very clear. Iran can never obtain a nuclear bomb to threaten the United States and our allies, and they must turn over the enriched uranium that's in their possession. While it is very far into the ground, thanks to the success of Operation Midnight Hammer, it's important to the president that they hand that enriched uranium over. He's made that quite clear to them. And now we're waiting to hear back from the Iranian regime.
This morning,
waiting to hear
Iran's
back.
3 ships in the Strait and seized 2 of them, Swiss and Greek-owned. How are you going to rob the Swiss? They haven't even taken a side.
Right.
The Iranians went from the most feared military in the Middle East to a crusty crew of Persian swashbucklers.
Pirates.
These 2 ships were taken by speedy gunboats. Iran has gone from having the most lethal navy in the Middle East to now acting like a bunch of pirates.
And the reason they're doing that is because they're waging a propaganda war. The goal here is for them to do something, film it, and make it look like they've still got a fighting chance, knowing Western media that hates the president is going to pick it up and run with it. But the waiting game here is the secret weapon nobody's talking about, which some people think could backfire.
After that happens, once that's set in motion, the only way to stop the explosion of prices on a global oil shortage is through a global recession that halts the world's economy long enough to stabilize the supply and demand. This is why I've been saying here that Trump needs to wrap this up like ASAP. We have more time than China and Iran, but it's not indefinite. We're like 10 to 30 days from a serious global financial tipping point. But here's what Trump is gambling on. He's banking on the fact that our blockade will bankrupt Iran and China before that, and that they will blink first. And they'll be starving of oil because China's not getting any. He's also banking on the fact that China, because they don't have oil, they're going to go to Iran and be like, dude, you guys need to work this out so we can get some boats through the Strait of Hormuz.
Here's the other aspect of this that nobody's talking about. The United States military has totally devastated Iran. They have no ability to resist a forceful reopening of the Strait. Now, the entire time this has been happening, Trump has been saying the Strait will open itself up naturally, and this is why. This is what he's referring to. China's got 10 days. Iran might have 3 days. There's no way this doesn't open itself back up because the long-term damage to Iran's ability to even have an economy hurts China. China buys 90% of Iran's oil. China doesn't want to have to buy all of its oil from the U.S. Then they have to do what Trump wants. You think they want that? Absolutely not.
It's a maximum pressure campaign. It's a gamble, but this is the art of the deal. Everyone else is getting hit 2 to 1 what we are. So who blinks? But if Trump comes out on top, which I think he will because he didn't go into this blind, and he usually knows what he's doing, I know for a fact that he has been briefed on all these scenarios by some of the smartest people in the world.
Right, and people want to say, oh, Trump's an idiot, he doesn't have a plan. I think what we're witnessing right now was the plan. Bomb Iran, destroy their military, ruin their ability to project force, to threaten their neighbors, to attack the U.S., and if you get rid of those missiles, you get rid of those drones, you get rid of their Air Force, now you can surround the country with a blockade and make what we're seeing happen. I think this might have been the plan all along.
If Trump pulls this off and they blink, think about this. Global politics, the global economy changes. Iran becomes our trading partner. China buys oil from us because it's ready to go now in tankers, unlike Iran. The American economy will have the political backing. All the libs will realize how important being energy independent really is after this, so we'll be able to produce more energy without the political resistance.
I don't know about that.
Which means gas prices will come back down. Places like Japan will stop dumping U.S. bonds, which is primarily why the Fed hasn't lowered interest rates, by the way. The dollar will get stronger, which means inflation will go down, followed by interest rates. That's a lot of good news.
It is. And look, China might not buy oil from the United States forever, but in the short run, it'll help us work out a great deal with them. And once Iran is a reasonable country and they're selling oil to China along with a country like Venezuela, if the sanction regime support apparatus is gone and they're selling this at real prices and they're doing it above board legally, China's not going to be able to play their little games. And their ability to threaten countries like Taiwan.
They don't have control over the Strait. This is piracy that we are seeing on display. And the naval blockade that the United States has imposed continues to be incredibly effective.
Iran's Navy is in Davy Jones' locker. Central Command says we're operating and enforcing the blockade across the Middle East and beyond.
The whole planet.
In the last 72 hours, U.S. forces have intercepted 3 Iranian oil tankers in Asian waters near India, Malaysia, and Sri Lanka. The president told Fox this: the blockade scares him even more than the bombing.
Because of what's going to happen 3 days from now, without firing a shot. This is the secret weapon that Trump's had the entire time. People are asking about nuclear weapons. What a dumb question. Obviously, we don't need to do that if this can all happen naturally.
We, the United States of America, control the flow of global shipping. And we know.
Yep, they know.
Their real navy is at the bottom of the Arabian Gulf.
What navy?
It's worth saying again. For 47 years, Iran has been at war with America, killing our citizens, our soldiers, and our allies, while previous administrations looked the other way. The real endless war is the war that Iran has waged on us for 47 years.
Right, and people want to say Trump's trying to get us into a forever war. That couldn't be further from the truth. He's been at it for 6 weeks. This whole thing is about to wrap up in just a matter of days. China's economy will collapse before the United States has a problem, weeks before.
With Americans who are exhausted after 25 years of foreign entanglements in the Middle East, I understand the concern, but the difference is that back then we had dumb presidents, and now we have a president who actually knows how to accomplish America's national security
Dumb
objectives.
presidents.
So this is not going to be some long, drawn-out thing.
Nope.
We've got in, we've done the job of setting their nuclear program back. We're going to now work to permanently dismantle that nuclear program over the coming years, and that is what the president has set out to do.
And he's been consistent about it. The president has never changed his story on what is supposed to happen here. Get rid of their nuclear capability, get rid of their ballistic capability, bring them to the negotiating table to make sure those two things never come back. That has never changed.
The president isn't going to lift the blockade until they hand over the uranium. And the blockade's about to get extremely painful. Trump says, quote, people approached me 4 days ago saying, sir, Iran wants to open up the strait immediately. But if we do that, there can never be a deal with Iran unless we blow up the rest of their country, their leaders included. The United States will be prepared to resume major combat operations at any time, but especially by this weekend, when the USS Bush will be in theater, making it 3 carrier strike groups lurking in the waters near Iran.
So every day, Iran loses more money. Every day, they've got less places to put their oil. Every day, China gets a little bit more nervous, and now there's another carrier. Think about that.
USS Boxer still making steady progress to the Gulf, just cruising past Guam. And the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit on board has been conducting flight training operations on deck. Time's on America's side. We're repositioning assets in a strategic and orderly fashion. The president says there's no time pressure on this. He just wants a good deal, and Iran can never have nukes.
Right.
The regime's dysfunctional. Their military and military-industrial complex pretty much gone.
They can't build the ballistic missiles they were firing at everybody. The world is now safer, including Europe, by the way, from that specific threat. Why is this a bad thing? Why do people not want to see this happen? Why do people want to see a regime that can launch missiles at Europe and all over the world at our allies, missiles which they said they didn't even have? Why do we want to see that keep going? No way, man.
Now, there is some not-so-good news here. The not-so-good news is, and you're seeing it right here on your screen, if Trump opened the strait today, and everything started going through at 100% capacity, it will take a minimum of 45 days for global supply to return to normal. That includes for China, by the way.
45
3 to 6
days.
months after that for fuel to come back down to what it was before this conflict, and another month or 2 for markets to truly start trusting the problem is solved. All in, look, I think it's worth it to not worry about a nuclear weapon ending up in Baltimore from Iran. But if it goes much longer, it could start to become not worth it.
But who's going to blink first? That's the question. Is it going to be China who's got less time than us?
Okay, so that's it. That's the video. And yeah, man, we're gonna see. All right, as you saw from the clip, that apparently Trump is about to play the weight game with Iran. Okay, to see who's gonna fall under pressure first. All right, but either way it goes, like I said, they're going to go to war, and America is still going to get nuked by these heathen nations, by Iran, by Russia, by China. You know what I'm saying? Esau cannot change what is written in the prophecies, man. All right, no matter what goes on, like I said, the prophecies, the scriptures, they stay the same. So whichever way it plays out, it's going to lead to what the prophecies say, man. All right, that's the beauty about the word of Heavenly Father, that stays the same. The Lord don't change. Okay, we just don't know exactly how. You know, it's going to ultimately lead to that Third World War. All right, that's why we watch. All right, but yeah, anyway, like I said, that was lengthy, so I'm just about to get the scriptures now. All right, because they think they got a handle on the situation, man, but really they don't. The Lord tricking their ass. Ezekiel 38 and 1 says, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against God, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. Right, so this is talking about Russia, for those that know. Okay, you know what I'm saying, you newcomers. All right, there's videos of apostles and elder brothers breaking it down. You just go to their videos, type in Ezekiel 38, GMS breakdown. GMS Israelite breakdown, Ezekiel 38, and they'll break it down for you. It's already videos up. They did the lessons. If you ain't hip. But anyway, verse 4, it says, I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth all thy army, horses and horsemen. Right, so the Lord's turning Russia back into that USSR, the Soviet Union spirit, okay, where they wanted to get at America. All right, and all thy army, horses, horsemen, it's talking about basically all the military equipment. Okay, the planes, the jets, the tanks, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor. Even a great company with bucklers and shields. All of them holding swords. Modern swords is the guns, missiles. It says, and it's naming the great company right here. It says Persia. My fault. My fault. It's about to go into basically who was allied with America. I mean with Russia, and who Russia is going to have their back. These nations right here is about to name. Verse 5. It says Persia, Ethiopia, Libya with them, all of them with shields and helmet. Gomor, which is Turkey, all his bands, the house of Tokamor in the north corners, that region up there in Turkey, when you look on the map, and all his bands, Western Asia, right? And all his bands and many people with them. Be thou prepared. It's talking about the Russians. God, be thou prepared, and prepare thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee. Yeah, everybody's that's in coalition with Russia. That's cool with Russia, right? And be thou a guard unto them. Now it's funny how the first one mentioned Persia, which is the old way how you say the Iranians. Okay, the Iranians are the ancient Persians, or Elam, the biblical name Elam, right? So Russia is going to guard. They're going to have their back, man. All right. They're going to have Iran's back. China and Russia are playing the quiet partner. They're playing in the background, just waiting on Iran to give them the green light to jump in this shit. All right. So what America and Trump are doing? They're spreading in their news media. Is a whole bunch of hype, man. Like they about to win this, man. Like Russia's not backing them up. You heard what China said, man. Said we ain't gonna fall back and let our friends be dominated by the Western powers. So they just listen to Iran, man. Like, and then Iran even went forward and said we not even using our full artillery. China is backing. China and Russia are supplying. They giving them information. And they supplying them with weapons. So come on, man. So yeah. What the fuck Trump talking about, bro? What the fuck is Trump talking about? I'm gonna get this last scripture. It says, Jeremiah 15:22. It says, "A sound of battle is in the land, and of great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations?" We see how, because it tried to bully all these other nations and extort them and just be a complete totalitarian rule over them. All right, I have laid a snare for thee. Thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Right, so Trump talking about, we got the blockade, and the Iranians they cornered, the oil refinery is basically going to it's basically going to be sabotaged through the blockade, through them not getting it out. If you pay attention to the video. All right, that's gonna shut down their oil refineries for good and all that, man. It's just this dude, he just talking a whole bunch of mess. Thou was not aware, right? You're not aware how the Lord got you in a trick bag, and He's using the nations to do so. Thou art found, thou also caught, because thou was stricken against Yahweh. Yahweh have opened His army and have brought forth His weapons of indignation, or is the work of the Lord Yahweh of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. And this definitely is the place of witchcraft. Chaldeans are the soothsayers, the witches, the warlocks, the wise men amongst Babylon. Okay, and That's why they call it the Epstein Empire. All right, but yeah, man. So things are going according to the way the Lord wants it to, and you know, this whole thing about, you know, what Trump saying and the Western media machine, how they about to, you know, basically win this war. It's all cap, man. They about to lose, and this thing is going to take a turn and shift right towards what the scriptures say for us the prophecies are concerned, man. All right, but yeah, so we definitely have to be on our watch and stay locked in, because we're there. We're here now. We are here. All right, and you know, just we have to be ready. Be ready for all this turmoil that's about to take place. But with that, I'm gonna give all praise and glory to Yahweh. Shalom, shout out to my sponsor, Elder Great Muslim. Let's go to the lake. This is Israel from Shalom.